Today we're going to talk about communication and confidence tips for introverts. And the reason why this is something I'm passionate about is because I'm an introvert. A lot of people assume that I'm on camera. I speak to audiences all over North America. I speak to schools and students, large audiences, that I must be an extrovert. But I am not an extrovert. I am an introvert. And what you'll find is if you look at, there are famous examples of people that you think are extroverts because of what they do, but they can flip a switch and turn on that extroverted mode. But really, they like to recharge by themselves. And I'm like that. I like to be by myself. I like to recharge by myself. I have no problem going to the movies alone or sitting at a table for one. I have no problem with that. I like being alone. But I have to turn on the extroverted side of me sometimes, whether it's coaching, making videos, or speaking in front of large audiences. So even if you're not a speaker, what we're going to talk about is some tips that are going to help you to be more comfortable, more confident if you're a shy or introverted person. The first thing I want you to do is write down some things you like or accept about yourself. A lot of times we focus on what we don't have, what we lack, what's missing. And when we do that over and over and over again, we don't feel good about ourselves because we forget to recognize the strengths that we have, the things that we're good at. So do this. Stop this video now if you're watching and take out a pen and paper and write down the words I admire and I accept. Write down 3 things you admire about yourself. Not things you want to be, but things you already like about yourself. Are you funny? Are you outgoing? Do you get along well with people? And then write down 3 things you accept about yourself. See, we have to accept our whole selves, not just say, hey, here's what I love about myself or here's what I like about myself, but also what are those things that I may not love, but I can accept about myself. You do that, that's your starting point to becoming more confident in your own skin and the first step to being able to express yourself confidently to other people as well. The second tip for communication, being more confident. This one is if you do express yourself, if you do have a way to post online or express yourself, do it in a way that makes you feel confident, that makes you feel comfortable. There are some people that don't like to be on camera. So they give tutorials and they actually show something else on camera. If that's you, do that. If you like to make carousels and not be on video, that's okay too. I would say this though, when you start something, you're not going to be good at it at first. I'm very comfortable on camera now. I wasn't that way in the beginning. So just know that if there's something that you want to do, a way that you do want to express yourself, start by practicing it and you will get better at it. But it doesn't mean that you have to express yourself or communicate like this person or that person. Find the way that's true to you and stick to that. The next thing to do if you're an introvert is when it comes to conversations with people, a lot of times I'll coach shy people, people that don't have a lot of confidence when it comes to opening up. And I'll say, you know what? Just be someone who asks questions of others that builds up other people. That's the easiest way to start communicating with confidence to others. Praise other people. When you're around people, give them compliments. Say, I like this about you. Here's what I like and here's why. Be honest about it. But talk about them. Ask them questions. The number one topic everyone loves to talk about is themselves. So if you can just get good at asking questions that are open-ended, not yes, no, but open-ended questions that require an explanation, listen carefully, and then ask follow-up questions or give them compliments based on what they say, people will call you an amazing conversationalist. They'll think you're an extrovert, but really all you're doing is taking an expressed interest in the other person. So do that if you're an introvert. Let the other person do the talking. Next, tell your own stories. A lot of times I'll coach young people when they give speeches and they will talk about, Thomas Edison and this famous person and that famous person. And that's cool to reference people who have taught you about success. But when you speak, when you are either giving a speech, communicating on video, talking to people one-on-one, just talk about things that you are passionate about, that you have gone through. When you are asked to speak, if you can speak from your own lens, hey, this is my experience, this is what I've gone through, this is something I'm passionate about, it makes it way more easy to communicate than if you try to take a topic that you think is going to impress other people or you think someone else wants you to talk about. Tell your own stories, express and speak about things that you are passionate about. And finally, as an introvert, if you can slow down when you speak, everything kind of slows down around you. There is a late actor, his name is Sidney Poitier, and he wrote a book. And in it, he said, when two people are walking, one of two things will happen. Either that person will walk at your speed or you will walk at their speed. And that's a subconscious thing that goes on. The same thing happens when you speak. If someone's speaking really fast and there's a lot going on and you're feeling anxious or overwhelmed, just slow down the way you speak. Let a pause go after the person has stopped speaking before you respond. And when you do that deliberately, people tend to slow down when they speak to you. So imagine communicating with someone, speaking to someone, and they're speaking a lot more slowly. They're taking their time. You're taking your time. You get to actually absorb what they're saying, and we're not talking over each other. We're not talking really quickly. You'll be more calm. You'll be more eloquent, and you will be able to express yourself more confidently. So do this. If you're practicing a speech, speak really slow. If you're speaking to someone, ask yourself, how many beats or pauses in between our speech do we have? Am I speaking slow? And try to slow it down, and you'll notice the other person does the same, and you'll feel more confident because you won't be rushing to speak with someone, to communicate with someone. So slow down. I hope this has been helpful. As an introvert, I've had to work on my ability to express myself and be more open with my communication. And these are tips that have helped me, and I hope they help you as well.